Hey everyone, this is Chris and Tony's Blood and Donuts.
where we talk about and review your favorite horror movies.
So grab a dozen
And a pint of blood.
and let's talk about the 2022 psychological thriller film, Smile.
Hey everybody, how we doing? Glad you're here
Hey, welcome.
to the Blood and Donuts podcast, man.
We're here.
Smile 2022. What did you think about this movie, Chris?
Oh, well, I don't want to give it all away, but I hated it.
Did you really?
I didn't like it at all. No, but we'll save our rankings for later. But yeah, I have a lot more cons than pros here, and I really wanted to like this movie. I picked it as part of our back and forth picking of the movie. I'd wanted to see it when it came out. I didn't, and I wish I hadn't.
Really?
Yeah.
I have some positives about this movie. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was a good movie. It's got a 2-hour runtime. I think they could have cut out about 30 minutes of that.
I agree.
It's got some very good jump scares.
There was a few in there, sure.
I thought they were really well done. The jump scares.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. So I don't. As a horror lover, I don't think you're gonna necessarily just absolutely gush over this movie.
No.
But if you're some teenagers and you're sitting on the couch and you want something to make her hold you tight because it's a little scary. I don't know. It's not real gory or anything like that.
No, it's more suspense and jump scare heavy, I would say.
Yeah.
Even at times
Yeah.
where I think, as I watched this over a period of a few, viewings, I probably fell asleep during one of the build-ups
Did you?
because it was just kind of dragging there.
Yeah. And again, that's my the runtime. Like, so if you're gonna Halloween hour and a half, Friday the 13th,
It's half your
hour,
night.
hour and a half, Friday the 13th an hour and a half, Halloween's hour and a half. I mean, like, they got it done an hour and a half. Why are you like? You better have a good reason to make a movie, a horror movie, 2 hours long. You know.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I see the 2-hour runtime or more than that, I'm like, what are you giving me?
Right. Yeah, it's got to be packed, and it
Yeah.
was kind of scarce,
Yes.
I guess. Yeah.
Yes. Sosie Bacon
That sounds right.
is the lead actress in this, and it's Kevin Bacon's daughter.
Really?
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
How cool is that?
You're making that up.
No, I promise. I promise.
So that's how she got this role.
Yes. Now she's I think she's probably the best actress in this movie.
Sure.
As far as that goes, I feel like I don't know. I feel like she seems scared, frantic.
You don't have many to choose from. Really.
No, you don't. She has a husband or a fiance.
It's a
Jesse
boyfriend,
T.
yeah.
Usher, who is horrible. He's like a terrible. I don't know. He's like getting upset with her
Yeah.
over saying. I just remember being like, it was kind of laughable,
Right.
at one point. But
Right.
so this came out in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
This is a directorial debut of Mr. Parker Finn.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a short story called "Laura Hasn't Slept" in 2020, and so Paramount picked him to make this movie.
Nice. They were originally going to call it Something's Wrong with Rose,
Oh, I saw that.
and then they changed it to Smile.
Smile.
Mhm. And another cool thing about the movie, before it came out, like a few days before it came out, they hired, I think it might have been the first actress there that smiles creepily.
Mm-hmm.
They sat behind home plate at baseball games
I saw that
and just smiled the whole time.
for the marketing campaign.
Yeah, and then the people around him were like concerned.
Did you go on YouTube and look at some of those?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, that
was it
pretty
creepy?
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. The people around him in the section are talking about it, and it generated some buzz for the movie, I think.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
Pretty cool.
Let's see. Rotten Tomatoes. Did you see the rating?
I didn't.
I think it was positive, 78%.
Okay. Yeah. IMDb has it at 6.5 out of 10.
Okay. So I think
their stuff.
middle of the road there as far as that goes. It's just it's not a bad movie. I don't think you didn't like anything about it.
Well, no, I liked a few things. There was a few scenes in there where I think her house alarm goes off, right?
Yeah.
And then she gets the call from security.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Is your front door locked?" And she's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Are you sure, Rose?"
Oh yeah.
Something like that. And it was
Okay.
really like,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, that's creepy."
Yeah. I can see that.
And then the therapist scene
Okay.
where she's talking to her therapist, and then her therapist calls her, and she looks across, and it's
Spoiler alert.
it's her therapist smiling.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the movie. We're okay
Yeah,
there.
I got you.
But the other good thing about this movie, I thought the therapist was a foxy lady. Other than that, those are my 3 pros, and we'll go into the cons as we get along in this thing. Now, one thing I want to ask you, Tony,
Yes.
why are there so many scenes that are upside down? Is there some kind of symbolism there? Because it made me dizzy and I hated it.
Yeah, that was weird. Even the Paramount went at the intro. Did you see where they kind of turned that upside down to make it look like a smile kind of deal in the beginning?
Yeah, but was there anything else upside down? Maybe the bridges looked like smiles upside down.
I think they're running away with the smile thing.
I guess.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we have any other facts here before we spoil this thing?
We'll let you guys know we're going to spoil it too. We will be talking about the ending a little later, but we're going to get through the synopsis first here in a little bit.
It was projected to gross about $20 million from 3,600 theaters. Obviously, Rotten Tomatoes had 78% positive, and you said 6.4 out of 10, right?
6.5 out of 10 for IMDb.
The critics say deeply creepy visuals and a standout Sosie Bacon further elevate Smile's unsettling exploration of trauma, adding up to the rare feature that satisfyingly expands on a short.
And they didn't use any visual effects for the smiles either.
That's
Those
good.
were all natural.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And it's kind of like I hate to like Joker's real hot right now, right?
Sure.
Joker, the creepy smile. Like nobody does it creepier than the Joker, I feel like. So it's like I don't know.
Right. Yeah, especially that last one with Phoenix as
Yeah,
the Joker. I thought that was really good.
Yeah. But this movie, the ending. How do you feel about the ending? Without spoiling too much.
Well, yeah, I have an alternate ending that I want to talk about when we get there because, yeah, I thought it could have been a lot better, I think.
To me, have you, speaking of alternate ending, it seems like the director filmed 3 alternate endings and put them all in the movie. Right?
And
Does
it's
it not?
It's the monster, yeah.
You're just like, what?
It's dead, and then it's back, and then it's
my
one of my things too was like there were too many nightmare scenes. So
Yeah.
you go through, and the first few times it's cool. The security scene that I mentioned and the therapist scene that I mentioned, you can only do that so many times though.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just what the movie was supposed to be, but it was too
Yeah.
many back and forths from reality to nightmare.
Yeah. But there was a lot of issues with this movie.
You're gonna hate this movie by the time I'm done talking about it.
Oh my God! But I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was horrible. And like I said, this contains some of the best jump scares that I have seen in a while. So if you're into that, I think you should watch it. I would compare it. I would compare it to The Ring. It Follows. I would say that they probably do it a lot better than this movie does.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a one of the points I want to talk about too. I was going to mention it when we got there, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. It's almost like they ripped off a scene from The Ring where a lady in The Ring, if you recall, the ladies were calling her daughter and how she looked when she opened the door.
Oh,
And she said her face was like this. And then it jump scared you to that scene of her daughter's face.
Yeah.
And that was creepy.
That was one of my favorite jump scares of all time.
They did it here too.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't as good. And I was thinking in my head,
Yeah.
man, that was The Ring.
Yeah.
They ripped it off.
Yeah. Man, The Ring was good, wasn't it?
It was.
2002. It was good. I feel like in the early 2000s, we went through a spat of just like really bad, like Final Destination, and just like it was horror was kind of Joyride. I don't know. It was okay, but
there was a lot of sequels there too. You were on like Final
oh my
Destination, like
God.
5 at that
Scream
point.
7, you know, and then like when The Ring came out, it was something very different. I think it was it was new, and that video, the video was so good.
It's creepy. And then you never really got any closure there, but yeah, that was a better movie than this one.
Go watch The Ring. Go watch The Ring. We're snooty with our horror films, but I mean, I hate to just like crap on this movie because I did enjoy it, and I feel like if you and your significant other wanted just like a good Halloween movie there's better ones, but I think you would enjoy Smile.
Yeah, if you don't want to go out trick or treating with your kid and want to sit for 2 hours and watch this
2 hours.
you can do that, or you can go have fun with your family
Yes.
and then watch it later.
You ready to spoil this thing?
Yeah, we can. Let's do it.
Let's go scene by scene of Smile from 2022. Dr. Rose Cotter, a therapist who was traumatized by witnessing her mother's suicide at age 10, takes an emergency session with graduate student Laura Weaver after she is admitted to Mount Pleasant Hospital. Laura, who witnessed her professor, Gabriel Munoz, bludgeon himself with a hammer just a few days earlier, frantically claims that she is being haunted by a malevolent.
There you go.
How did I mess that up?
I don't know.
Presence whose curse has consumed her life and no one but her can see. Although Rose diagnoses her as having hallucinations, Laura insists that the entity has the power to appear to other people wearing an eerie smile. Claiming she's about to die, Laura suddenly freaks out, then begins smiling before cutting open her neck with a broken vase shard in front of Rose.
All right, and let's talk about how this could have been avoided. When you leave your office and you hear the phone ring,
Yes.
you just keep walking.
Yeah. So
She comes back into the room and picks up a call after her boss told her to leave.
So Dr. Rose Cotter, Sosie Bacon, is just unsufferable. I mean, this girl is just, she's working her butt off trying to help her patients. She needs to go home.
Mm-hmm.
She's overworked. She's tired. And then the first scene right here, when this is happening, she's about to go for the day and just leave for the day. And then she closes, she gets her jacket, and then the phone rings. You wait a second, and then she comes back in and
Yeah,
answers
she
the
rushes
phone.
back into the room to take care of it.
And as the viewer, you're like, that's not good.
Dummy.
Go home. Why are you doing
You
this?
look bad.
What do you think? What do you think about the scene of her cutting her neck?
You know, I thought the cool part was that the person who was cutting their neck, which don't know that actress's name, but I thought that was a good thing where she kept her smile the whole time.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
That was creepy.
And that was Caitlin Stacy as Laura Weaver, who cut herself. Yeah.
Basically, she's like, you can't help me. You know,
Right.
like you could tell that she's been through a lot of psychiatrists or therapists.
Yeah.
She's like, you're not going to believe me. And then all of a sudden, like, doesn't she just get like pushed up against the wall? She starts screaming like she's getting she's getting choked.
She sees something behind our Dr. Cotter here and freaks her out so much that she tries to run away.
Yeah.
And she can't get away. Something
Yes.
seems like it's grabbing her.
Yes,
again.
so this doesn't mention the opening scene as well. So the opening scene, there is someone who looks like Dr. Cotter. Remember, in a bed, and looks like she's died of like some kind of drug overdose. It's a nasty house.
Yeah.
It's nasty. She has like some spit up on the mattress, and in walks a little girl. You know, and I don't know. I don't remember at that point, was she like, Mom, was she like, help me? Or was she already dead?
I think she was reaching out for help, and the little girl was scared.
So
and
this
ran
is
off, kind of
this is a flashback, but you don't know what it's in reference to or anything. And it looked a lot like Sosie Bacon. So I was like, oh, is this going to be her in the end? So I was a little, I was just like, oh,
Right.
did we just have a flash forward?
Yeah.
You know, but we do find out that it is a flashback, and that indeed is her mother. And she's the little girl, correct?
Yep. Yeah, and it mentions that there. So I guess she had committed suicide as well.
Yeah.
Maybe overdosing on pills or something like that.
And then you find out later that she was like reaching out to her daughters, like, please help me. Mommy messed up. But her daughter didn't do anything. Right. Sosie Bacon did nothing. She was kind of like, forget you. You're not that good of a mom.
But apparently the bigger sister did.
I guess. Maybe.
She's a lot better than her later
Well,
on.
she moved out.
Yeah, she was older, I think. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And so fast forward in the hospital, this traumatized girl's like pleading her case. And then all of a sudden this entity, that we can't see, is choking her or something like that. Then all of a sudden she stands up in a really cool jump scare.
Yeah, I like that cool shot where she kind of cuts a big...
Oh, yeah. And she, just right around her neck.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, it was nuts.
Didn't look like it hurt. She was smiling.
Exactly. One of the detectives who interviews Rose about Laura's death turns out to be her ex-boyfriend, Joel. We don't know that at the time, do we?
Nope.
Still shaken by what she saw, Rose recounts what Laura told her about supposedly being cursed by an evil presence with a haunting smile. Rose begins seeing Laura smiling at her in various places.
Now, does she just see Laura, or doesn't she see a few other things, or is that later?
Yeah,
At first, I think she just sees.
Is it just Laura?
Yeah.
Okay. At some point, she starts seeing the smiles on everybody's faces. Rose begins seeing Laura smiling at her in various places. The visions inspire Rose to look into Gabriel Munoz's suicide. And am I saying that right? Munoz?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Suicide. And she learns Gabriel was also smiling strangely immediately before he died.
Yeah, because they saw the security footage. Well, that was later, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think she looked into him this early in the film. But yeah.
Yeah. Rose checks on her patient, Carl Rankin, who was previously admitted to the hospital for a manic episode. Carl smiles ominously and begins threatening and terrifying Rose, which causes her to call security. Orderlies restrain Carl, but it turns out Rose only imagined his aggressive behavior, believing that Laura's shocking death may have caused a mental breakdown. Rose's boss, Dr. Morgan Desai, puts Rose on 1 week's leave. Tell us about Dr. Morgan.
And that's one of the guys from Harold and Kumar. That's Cal Penn there.
Cal Penn.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
And he's still doing stuff.
He doesn't try to be funny in this.
No, it's not a comedy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was cool. It was kind of cool seeing him.
Yeah.
So this Carl Rankin, which is her, you see him at the beginning. He's a mumbler. He's like mumbling. He's saying, "We're all gonna die. She's gonna die. He's gonna die. I'm gonna die. That nothing matters. Nothing matters." And this is what he does. But then you see Dr. Rose Cotter, Sosie Bacon, sit next to him and kind of calm him down. She seems like a really good therapist.
Not scared of him at all. Yep.
Yeah, she seems like a really good therapist. And then right here, and contrast, you see her looking at him, and he's smiling.
Or she walks by the room.
Yeah, walks
and
by
then
the room.
She kind of has to do a double take.
He's sitting up on the bed and he's smiling, and then she's like, and then she calls the orderly, and that's not like her.
Right.
So you're like, what? And they can tell. Even her boss is like, "You're overworked. You need to go home. This is not like you." Following another frightening vision of Laura, the security alarm goes off while Rose is home alone. An operator from the security service seemingly calls Rose with a taunting message, and then a real operator calls Rose shortly thereafter. After her fiance Trevor returns home, Rose notices that her cat is missing.
Yep, and this was probably my favorite scene, I think, as far as the eeriness goes. I really liked how they did that. It was one of those little bait and switch.
Yeah.
You think she's talking to someone, and then nope, she's talking to.
Yeah. At this point, you're on track to be watching a really good movie.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was still there.
You like the doctor. You like Carl and his smile. You like the girl who smiled.
Yeah, and the doctor is starting to get a little uneasy. She's kind of wondering what's happening. She's like, okay, this is getting weird.
Yes, and like you said, the creepy apartment. She's there by herself. The alarm goes off.
Beautiful house, yeah.
Oh man,
it was a nice house.
Yeah, and then what does the operator say?
She says something like, "Are you sure?" She says, "Are your doors locked?"
Oh,
and she says, "Yeah, they're locked."
Is there anybody in your house?
And she goes, "Are you sure?"
Are you
or
sure?
Something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And you get some chills there. Are you sure? I like that. Trevor has to calm Rose. Trevor.
Ugh,
I don't like Trevor.
the boyfriend.
Trevor sucks.
Or the fiance or whatever.
Yeah. So
Whatever.
he's not even a good guy, but the actor, he's not that good of an actor. Trevor has to calm Rose when she becomes suddenly spooked again while reviewing audio from her session with Laura. Concerned for her own mental health, Rose visits her former therapist, Dr. Madeline Northcott. Rose explains that she's having hallucinations, which Madeline attributes to Rose's long-standing guilt over her mother's intentional overdose. Madeline denies Rose's request to prescribe antipsychotic medication.
Yeah, another one other than there's a pro and a con here. The sexy therapist lady, one of my pros. The con for me, Tony, is they make her go from a professional psychologist, doctor, very professional, very, headstrong woman, to a babbling idiot in 2 scenes. Like, you're like, well, how did she go that fast down? She's only seen like 2 people smile.
Yeah.
One smile, one creepy phone call.
Yeah.
And she's a bumbling, lunatic now.
Yeah. So she
stops wearing makeup. She looks like crap.
So what I take it as is like, so like, first off, she's going to a therapist that she saw for a long time, apparently. So the state that she's in, this strong therapist is a place that she had to get to through therapy.
So then her therapy just wasn't very.
She saw a girl slice her throat, open.
Who hasn't?
God. She saw a patient, smiling at her, cut her throat, and then of course Carl, and then she got sent home for a week, and the phone call, and
She drops a wine glass somewhere in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
Man, it was a quick 180.
It was.
Me
It wasn't.
on
She
the-
was. I mean, she
the
was
degradation of her.
Yeah, she was not doing well at this point.
Yeah.
And then you find out that she was the little girl at the beginning, right
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
You're
that's
like,
what they do.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you kind of see her backstory
They
as well.
tie that together.
Yeah. Rose and Trevor attend a birthday party for Rose's 7-year-old nephew, Jackson, and Rose's sister, Holly's house. Okay. Sorry. This is she attends a birthday party for her 7-year-old nephew, and it's at her sister's house.
And the sister already thinks she's crazy.
Yeah.
Or something, which I
Yeah.
think she thought she was crazy before because she had gone through all that.
They didn't mention this, but they go out to eat.
Oh, yeah.
They go out to eat with her sister and her brother-in-law, and she's acting really weird. And they get in a fight. What are they getting in a fight about?
I think just not over who's paying or anything. I don't really remember.
They get in a fight over something, and it's apparent that Rose is not doing well.
Right. And I think that maybe the sister,
Didn't she yell at Holly's husband
yes.
at that point?
Yeah, because he was making a joke or something, and then she kind of snapped
Yeah.
at that or whatever.
Yeah,
happened
and
there.
then she was like, "Well, this, his birthday is tomorrow." And she goes, "I can't. I'm working on a Saturday."
Right.
And then that was before she got put out of work for being a basket case.
Yep.
Yeah. So she's going to this birthday party now. Guests are mortified when Jackson opens up Rose's gift to find her dead cat packaged inside. She was insisting that she wasn't responsible. Rose trips and falls through a glass table after another vision of Laura terrifies her. What do you think about that scene?
Okay, so the dead cat for me is a big no. Obviously, I'm a cat guy. So
I don't like dead cats.
Yeah, that's why Hocus Pocus sucked.
Yeah.
They killed a cat in that one too, by the way.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Well,
I don't know.
it was bad. Anyway, but part of this is she's screaming for help. She doesn't know what's going on. Everyone's looking at her like she's been crazy for years and never gone through therapy. And then she falls through a table, and then people are still just kind of like looking around. I'm screaming at the TV. I'm like, somebody help her, or at least believe her.
Yeah.
Part of the movie that I don't like is no one believes the protagonist here
Yeah.
for 5/8 of the movie.
Yes.
Until the husband or the ex-husband later, whatever.
Ex-boyfriend. So so it is frustrating. You're watching this as the viewer, and the sister is turning her back on her. Her brother-in-law is definitely. It obviously looks like she gave a dead cat to a 7-year-old. What was the cat's name?
Oh, it was
Snowball?
good. No, I'll have to look at it here.
So you're seeing everybody turn their back on her, even her job, which was where she got most of her.
Right.
That was like her home, and then her fiance starts turning his back, and he doesn't believe her, and so she really has nobody at this point.
Right.
And it is very frustrating to watch.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking, man, somebody help her out. Believe her. I don't believe her that she didn't put a dead cat in a box, because, I mean, she clearly did.
Yeah.
Or someone did.
But you can say, like, this is my sister. She's a successful therapist.
Yeah.
I'm going to help her. She's going through a time right now.
Yeah. Not she's been crazy for years approach. She's the family nutcase.
Yeah.
Nobody look at her.
Right. But she's obviously, her sister is not well either. Her sister has some toxic issues.
Yeah, I think she does.
She drinks wine all the time, and she's not perfect.
Who didn't?
With her sanity unraveling, Rose tries to tell Trevor about the supposed curse that plagued Laura apparently being passed on to her. Trevor I can't talk today.
Dismissive.
Man. Yeah. Accuses Rose of inheriting mental illness from her mother and killing their cat.
So there it is again. No one believed even the bad actor doesn't like her. Yeah. He just immediately gives up on her.
And then he does turn to her. He goes, "Did you kill whatever the cat's name? Snowball or whatever?" I don't know. It was a cool name, but
I'm sorry, but the cat was not listed on IMDb.
Oh, that's okay. We should have took better notes. Yeah. That's on us. But yeah, so at this point, he seemed like a very sweet, and at dinner with the in-laws and the sister, he looked like a very sweet and loving partner. And then at this point, you're seeing him, he's giving up pretty quick.
Yeah. And remember, let's go back just a smidge. The little boy, Jackson, at the birthday party was obviously traumatized.
Yes.
Put a pin in that because I'm going to come back to it later.
Okay. Rose visits Gabriel Munez's widow, Victoria. Victoria shows Rose macabre sketches. Gabriel drew a dark entity he claimed was trying to get inside him. Rose also learns that Gabriel was traumatized by the death of his brother 20 years ago, and he began ranting about the curse after attending a conference where he saw a woman kill herself. Rose asks for the woman's name, but Victoria kicks Rose out of her house after Rose becomes insistent that Gabriel was telling the truth about this curse.
Right. And I think the moral of this story is if you have a dark entity trying to get into you, just don't let it. Just don't let it. Gabriel's a sissy. No, I thought this was kind of a pointless scene.
Yeah.
I put it down as one of my pointless. And I'm trying not to harp on the movie too bad.
Yeah.
Because it did a few things good, but it did more things wrong.
Okay.
The Munoz visit was, it just seemed like a filler. That's part of the stuff they could have cut because all she did was see some creepy drawings and get kicked out.
Yeah. It was like you're wondering, like you were hoping to get a flashback. You were hoping that she was going to get some information.
Right. I mean, because they're going to revisit this when she goes later to the ex-boyfriend, ex-fiance, and they go down the rabbit hole there.
Yeah.
She could have just went to him straight away instead of going to try to find this family and figure out what happened.
Yeah. And when they do start going down that rabbit hole, a lot of information comes very quickly. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't a lot of digging needed.
Oh,
like,
this is what the last hour and 45 minutes was.
Here's the death photo too. They have it right here. It's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's on the security cam.
Look at this.
Where he killed
Watch
himself.
this video. But he's a police officer, so he has
access to all that
access to everything, apparently. Rose convinces Joel to help her continue connecting clues. Joel uses his police computer to access a file for Angela Powell, who was the real estate agent that Gabriel Munoz saw die. Additional video shows that several days prior to her death, Angela saw a smiling man suddenly hack his own neck with gardening shears at a gas station.
That's how you do it too. Quick, painless garden shears.
Yeah. That was that video it was very like built up and stuff like that. I didn't think it was that cool.
No.
It's very far away.
Yeah.
I didn't see him smiling. I was kind of
it was more of a grin.
Yeah. Rose returns home to find that Trevor called Madeline for an intervention over Rose's worrying mental state. Feeling betrayed, Rose storms out to take copies of Joel's files to her sister Holly. Rose tries telling Holly about the curse, which only leads to the sisters arguing about Rose behaving similar to their abusive mother.
I mean, that's another scene with the older therapist. So I was a fan, right? That's Madeline.
What's funny is she feels betrayed, but at the same time, she went and saw her too. But right. she just wanted some pills.
Right.
She's
trying to get on the pills.
She was like, I'm tired of seeing hallucinations, which makes sense. I would want to do that too. Mm-hmm. I guess you can't write yourself a prescription.
I think you can.
Can you? You're a doctor?
I would think so.
No.
That's why most people are doctors.
Yeah.
They go to do
I would be like, hey, Trevor, I'm seeing things. Do you mind if I write you a prescription for some hallucination?
And then you can give it to me. Easy.
Because she's not giving it to me.
Always a loophole.
Joel calls Rose to so her sister and they're fighting right now.
Well, yeah, after the dead cat thing, and then she says Jackson is traumatized.
You see him looking out the window. Mm-hmm. And you said did you want to add anything to that or?
No, when we get to spoilers, I'm going to give an alternate ending.
Oh, okay, I got you. Joel calls Rose to tell her that further digging revealed a chain of 20 similar cases involving witnesses to 19 suicides. The exception was accountant Robert Talley, who watched his business partner commit suicide. Instead of subsequently killing himself, however, Robert murdered a stranger 4 days later. 1 week after that, the eyewitnesses to Robert's actions committed suicide, and the pattern resumed.
Right. And that's kind of maybe the way out for Rose.
Right.
If she kills someone else,
Yes.
she won't have to kill herself, and then the thing kind of moves on because
Yeah.
it feeds on trauma, right?
It seems like they find this chain really quick.
Right.
There's 20. The chain's long.
Right.
And Robert Talley and this
What are the
prison
police
system.
doing at this time?
Nothing.
Like
why
there's
can't-
like 20 suicides all chained together.
Can we bring this stuff? And well, I think the time they kind of, in the Ring they go 7 days, and it's like very apparent. This one they kind of say, "Oh, it looks like most of them are dying after 4."
about 4 to 7?
How many days have you been? And she's like, "Today's my 4th."
Right.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. There's no set. I did not like that point. I wish like there was a set
Yeah.
time.
A deadline. 5 days.
Yeah,
6 days.
yeah.
48 hours, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 4 to 7.
Yeah.
Just kind of take your pick.
4 to 7. Take your pick. Today's
Business
the 4th.
days. Business days.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you kind of, at this point, you say, oh, you can murder your way out of this chain.
Easy.
So the premise of the movie is, so you get this smile demon, and you have to get in the smile demon after a set amount of days, makes you commit suicide in front of somebody, and not you kill yourself in a very traumatizing way
While smiling.
while smiling, and then the person who saw it receives the demon, the smiling suicide demon, and you carry it with you. You see smiles.
Kind of becomes latched on to you at that point.
Yeah. And I keep referencing The Ring. The Ring was like that. You would watch the video,
Yeah.
and then you start seeing things everywhere, like you see distorted faces on the remember the computer, on the video cameras and stuff like that. Remember the guy went into the gas station, he bought some cigarettes, and she goes, "You're going to die," Remember that?
All right. Earlier, you start seeing chicks come out of wells.
Yes.
With the hair first.
Right.
Yeah.
This is very similar to that.
Tries to be.
Tries to be. I think Ring did it better. Joel takes Rose to see Robert Talley in jail. During the drive, Rose tells a disbelieving Joel that she thinks the entity possesses people before they kill themselves, and then she worries that her time with the curse is almost up.
Oh, so another main character doesn't believe our main character?
Yes, but Joel's different for some reason.
Is he?
Yeah.
Does he seem like he cares more or something?
Yeah,
And he's trying to get back.
Yeah, you
back
could
with
like
her.
he kind of you could tell that they have this chemistry, or
Yeah.
at least he does, because he after she had her episode, he kind of shows back up at the hospital. This is before all of this, and he's like, "So how are you doing?"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one of her coworkers says, she's engaged,
Right.
But I'm single,
And then he's like, well, yeah, but I'm a better actor than Trevor, than Trevor's character.
yeah, basically.
And then she's like, oh, you're right about
Yeah.
that.
At the jail, Robert privately reveals to Rose that the only way to break the curse's chain is to kill someone else. But there has to be a witness because the entity needs trauma to continue surviving. Robert suddenly panics when he realizes that Rose currently carries the curse.
Yep. And that was I thought an okay scene where as soon as he reveals or she reveals that I think she maybe misspeaks, and then he's like, "Wait, it's you. You have it."
Oh God, you have it! Get away
He starts freaking
And then,
out
yeah, he starts. Yeah,
because he doesn't want to be near the thing that he already got rid of.
yeah, because it was that awful. So that was a cool scene.
Seeing people smile at you, it's just the worst.
That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you're like, who she's gonna kill? She's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah. Is she thinking that?
I don't know.
I think she is.
Yeah. At
Is
this
there a
point,
scene here in a little
man,
bit?
what if you kill somebody who's just they're about to die anyway? Would that
Right.
work?
What if he killed like some guy in a psych ward or something?
Yeah. This is very morbid, to even say that someone. I mean, they're like they maybe
Right.
they have like 24 hours to live.
Yeah. You'd have to find that person. Yeah.
They're on life support.
Yeah. You just go pull it.
Do you mind if I murder your loved one?
Right.
And then have them believe.
Yeah, right.
That would be tough. No. Madeline visits Rose back at home. This is the therapist that you love, right? Rose realizes that the presence is impersonating Madeline when the real Madeline calls her on the phone. Madeline's smiling doppelganger threatens Rose.
Still looks bad when she
What'd you
smiles like
think
that.
about that scene?
I thought she still looked bad when she smiled like that. 10 out of 10. Would smile at again.
What do you? How about creepy?
It could have been perceived by some people to be creepy, but
I hated this one.
you hated this scene.
I hated this
Well,
scene.
it's because we're like 4 nightmares deep
I guess.
now, Tony. I mean, that's the movie. It's the
I
back and
guess.
forth.
I hated this scene. I did not like. At this point, I was like, "This is getting campy." She's stepping over the couch. She's smiling. Like, what is going on here?
And it's kind of a play on the first scene, or with the security call scene, where it's another switch like that.
Yeah.
We've already seen it where someone calls you when you're in the middle of a nightmare and it's creepy.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Again. 2 hours. This film did not need to be 2 hours. Armed with a kitchen knife, Rose drives to the hospital. At this point, you're thinking Rose might do something crazy. Oh yeah, right.
Right.
So Rose experiences a vision of stabbing her poor patient Carl.
Right. And that's where, she's thinking of that other way out.
Yeah.
Where
And
she's gonna
so
get out of this
as the viewer, you're like, oh my God, she just killed Carl. She just she puts him up against the wall and just starts stabbing
stabbing the crap out of
him. Yeah.
And he's laughing the whole time.
Yeah. He's really laughing. And then it cuts to she was just daydreaming about that.
Right. There we go again. That's like the 7th time.
Oh yeah, and she stabs him in front of Dr. Desai too.
Right. And then he starts laughing.
And he tears his own face off.
Tears the face off.
Yeah, good stuff. So Rose is in her car with the knife. He tries to summon. So he comes out there, realizes she's daydreaming. She's sitting in her car with a knife. He tries to summon help before she just drives away fast.
Okay, is this the scene where she's sitting there and she's looking like she's crying or something, and then it switches to her eating a hamburger and the microphone's right in her throat while she's eating a hamburger?
That was so weird. That was so weird.
I typed it out as soon as I saw that scene. I pulled up the laptop and I typed out, why are we going from crying to eating a burger with ASMR? Like, so bad. Why is it important? I hate hearing people eat. I really do. So that was a big down for me.
And like anybody that's experienced anxiety or trauma or anything, the last thing you want to do is eat. It was a weird scene. It cuts to she's eating a cheeseburger and you're just like,
right.
And you're sitting there and this is like at the hour mark. You're like, get this thing over with.
Right. And I don't know why they had it in there. It was just a weird, there was nothing fruitful from that scene. Nothing happened. Nothing subliminal. No. It was crying, eating a burger, driving off or whatever it was.
Weird.
Hated it.
Weird. Joel calls to tell Rose there is a APB out for her based on the encounter with her concerned boss at the hospital. Rose cryptically explains that she's going to confront the entity and wants to be alone so no one witnesses or that they could, no one inherits her curse.
Right. So it sounds like she's about to go end the game here. She's about to go take care of herself.
Yeah. So she's going to go commit suicide at there's a property that's just sitting there vacant, and it's it's the one at dinner with her sister. I just remember this. She mentions like, why don't you just sell the property? It's just sitting there.
Oh, I didn't catch that one.
And she's like, I don't want to deal with it. So now she's and this is the property that she witnessed her mother commit suicide in.
Okay.
She goes to this property out in the middle of nowhere, and she plans to kill herself. We think.
Yeah, that's what it looks like so far.
Yeah.
Should we engage spoilers here now? Or are we going to...
We've been spoiling it all this whole way, so go ahead.
Well, we're about to talk about the ending, so I just wanted to make sure that...
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet and you want to know the outcome, go watch it and come back and listen. So we're here on the end of the movie spoilers, as it were.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Go for it.
No. You can keep going. I just want to make sure that everyone knew listening. We're talking about the end of the movie now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
We're getting on there.
Okay. Rose drives to her abandoned childhood home where her mother died inside. Rose confronts a vision of her mother who accuses Rose of allowing her to die by not calling for her help upon finding her overdosing. Rose accuses her mother of being an abusive monster, and then the vision then morphs into a lanky creature that then attacks Rose.
And so that's kind of the looks like one of the final forms of this thing, right? That's what it looks like.
Yes.
Her mom, or is it just that's what she looks like?
The lanky creature looking thingy with long hair, and so it's
A
it's
bunch
like
of teeth, right?
Yeah, it was weird.
You didn't like it, did you? How much did you hate this movie? Though?
I didn't like the ending. I was very confused by the ending.
Right.
I didn't know what she was going for. She goes in there and she turns all the lights off, I think.
I typed it out. Yep, I typed it out as I was watching it.
Yeah, she's like, yeah. What does she do?
Or no, the lights are off, and it's in the next little part here. Is that she's going to set the creature on fire with an oil lantern?
Yes,
so that's why she had the oil lantern. And I'm thinking in my head, like, just get a dang flashlight, run down to the BP, go get a flashlight.
Yeah, and
so you can see.
And you should have killed yourself by now.
Right. It doesn't take long.
That again, like not to the suicide thing, not to be take that too lightly or anything. But this movie is about suicide and trauma and all that good stuff.
Or yeah, contemplating it. Yeah.
Yeah. But Rose sets the creature on fire using an oil lantern. Rose then escapes outside as the entire house goes up in flames. Roll the credits.
Okay. All right. So that's the ending. Right. We're done.
You think?
All right. Can I give you my alternate ending?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I want to do a better one. Okay.
By the way, that wasn't the ending. There's more to it. But yes.
Okay.
That's part one of the ending. It just seems like the director had so many endings.
Right.
That and like again, because you're so confused. You're like, what just happened? Is the house burned? But then the house wasn't burned.
Yeah, it was another nightmare thing, wasn't it?
So it was very confusing. Go ahead. What do you have?
All right, so my better ending, other than the one that we're about to get to, is this: the creature knows that this character here, she's going to go into that house. She's going to overcome her fear or her trauma because it feeds off trauma.
Yes.
So let's pretend like this powerful, smart psychologist lady figures out her problems.
Yes.
And the creature is like, okay, I can't compete with that anymore. She's gonna solve herself. She's gonna fix herself.
Yeah.
Let me move on to something else.
Yeah.
You remember the boy at the party?
Yes.
Traumatized by the cat.
Yes.
Well, why don't we, at the end of this movie, happy ending for Rose Cotter here.
Yes.
She's fine. Everything's happy, hunky-dory.
Yeah.
She's visiting her sister's house again because everyone loves each other again.
Yeah.
And then you see the little boy smiling creepily.
Oh, I like that.
Because he caught the trauma, or, he was traumatized so much by the cat that the creature moved on from, Rose to the little boy.
Yeah. I don't mind that.
I thought it would have been a better
I don't
ending.
mind that. That sounds like very like Stephen Kingish too. You know what I mean? Like you're going away, like everything's a happy ending, and then little boy smiles creepily.
Right. Other than what we saw, which we'll get into now.
What they did instead is so you have another. She drives up to the house, and then you have another nightmare dream sequence that didn't happen. What I just read. All of that, none of it happened. Right. And you're so confused. And it's a little frustrating because you're getting into an hour and 45 minutes at this point. Mm-hmm. Rose visits Joel to apologize for involving him in the situation and for not being emotionally available during the relationship. Rose realizes that she is still cursed when Joel smiles eerily. Rose flees outside to discover that she never actually left her intact childhood home. What the crap?
Right. So she burned it down, and then she's like, oh, wait, I'm still here.
And then the real Joel arrives at the abandoned house to protect him. Rose locks Joel outside while the creature pulls open her mouth. Joel breaks into the... So the creature at this point pulls open her mouth and gets inside. I don't mind that scene.
No, I thought that was okay.
That should have been but she gets there. You could have done all of this without her going back outside and with Joel and it being a dream sequence. You get there and she got a lamp and then it's her mom and the mom transforms into this thing and then it goes inside of her.
Right. Yeah, it definitely could have been that way. I agree.
Yeah. So anyway.
I didn't like how it was.
Joel gets in eventually and he sees Rose smiling. She sets herself on fire while smiling. Mm-hmm. The end. And I don't mind that ending. It's the ending that they gave us before
Don't
the
fake
ending.
us out twice before you get to the final thing.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's
Yes.
part of that crap that could have been cut
Yes.
out to make it a shorter movie.
Yes. But you know what? Rotten Tomatoes gives this 78%. So there's people that love this.
Yeah.
There's people that
I wanted to.
and again, on the whole, the jump scares are really good. And that's what I was trying to think. I was like, who is this movie for? You know, this movie is for mainstream people who are looking for a little scare.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like slumber party kids are all want to get scared. And,
Yeah. And you know, like yeah. And I think our wives would probably like it.
Sure, maybe.
What do you
yeah.
think? It's not too gory. It's creepy.
Mine would probably fall asleep because it's 2 hours long.
Yeah, it is long.
I mean, to be fair.
It is long.
And she knows it too.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else do you want to add to that?
So, yeah, I'm looking here. I just typed out better ending. Monster feeds on trauma. Kid who saw the cat. Main protagonist lives. Camera pans to smiling kid. Finn. That's my take. Get a flashlight for the final boss so you can see why all the upside down shots. Those are all my cons there. And the therapist lady was probably my favorite part, just because she was in it. All right, Tony. So I'm going to give this a ranking now.
Okay. So tell them about our ranking system.
Ranking system. We're going out of 13 donuts, which is a baker's dozen, and I'm going to give it, for me, 4 out of 13. I had way more cons than pros. The bad acting, the frustration of no one believing the protagonist, all that stuff added up for me.
Okay. My pros are, I think Sosie Bacon did a good job acting. Mm-hmm. I think she was a good actress in this. Another one of my pros is the jump scares. I thought they were very well done. The first 30 minutes of this movie is really good. The first 30 minutes of this movie is really good. My cons, it's too long. There's some bad acting in there. The alternate ending that they just left into the movie. But again, I started off really liking this film, and I thought it was going to be really good. I'm going to give it 5 donuts out of 13. I think it has an audience out there. I'm not it. I don't think Chris is, but it wasn't a bad movie.
Right.
By any stretch of the imagination. It's just way too long and a little too confusing there at the end.
I agree on those points. That does it for Smile. Thanks so much for listening.
Please like and subscribe. Check out our other shows on Apple Podcast and Spotify. And stop by our YouTube channel, Blood and Donuts Podcast.
Until next time, this has been Chris and Tony's Blood and Donuts.